Welcome back, YouTube. This is going to be part 6 of my tutorial on the beginner's method, how to solve a 3x3 Rubik's Cube. In this part of the tutorial, I'm going to show you how to solve the middle layer of the Rubik's Cube. In the first few tutorials, I showed you how to get the first layer of the Rubik's Cube, which is like this, where you have one layer, one face completely white, and you have these three colors, the same, corresponding to that face. So this is blue, and these three are all blue. Going around the cube, you have three oranges with the orange, and etc. going around. So now I'm going to show you how to fill in these edge pieces so that you can solve the first two layers of the Rubik's Cube. And when we're done with this video, your cube should look something like this, where you have the first two layers of the cube solved. Okay? So in order to solve this cube, first we're going to need to locate the pieces that are eventually going to go into here. And the way to look for them is to look in the bottom layer. So you're going to look in the bottom layer for a piece, for a edge piece that doesn't have yellow in it. And the reason for that is that any piece that doesn't have yellow in it is eventually not going to be in this bottom layer, because this center piece is yellow, therefore this face is going to be entirely yellow. So any edge piece that doesn't have yellow in it can't go in this bottom layer. Because the top layer is already solved and it can't go in the bottom layer, it therefore has to go in the middle layer. So let's go into our bottom layer. Here's our top layer, here's our bottom layer, and let's find a piece that doesn't have yellow in it. So here's an edge piece right here, the orange and blue, that does not have yellow in it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this orange with the orange center piece. And I do this by rotating the bottom layer, like this. So I can keep the camera angle focused at you. I'm just going to rotate the top two layers, but that's the same thing as just rotating the bottom layer. So I'm going to rotate the bottom layer until I get the orange lined up with an orange center. So here we go. And I line up the orange with the orange, like that. The next step to solving the middle layer is to figure out whether this piece needs to go up and to the left or up and to the right. In other words, which of these two pieces does it need to replace? And the way to tell is because this is orange and blue, it's eventually going to need to go in between the orange and blue faces. So it's going to need to go right here. So if to move this piece up and to the left, we're going to perform this algorithm. In my later videos, I'll show you a method where you don't have to memorize an algorithm for the first two layers, but for now, for the beginners out there who are learning to solve the cube for the first time, this is a simple method where you only have to memorize a very little bit and be able to solve the cube. So the algorithm to get this piece up and to the left is down, left, inverse down, inverse left, inverse down, inverse front, down, front. And what that did was it moved the piece from here to here. And you can see now that this is solved. So we're going to go around the cube and we're going to do this again and again until we have the first two layers completely solved. So again, we're going to look in the bottom layer. Here's my here's my top two layers, and here's my bottom layer. I'm going to look in the bottom layer again, try to find a piece that doesn't have yellow in it, an edge piece that doesn't have yellow. And here's one again. Here's my other orange one, orange and green this time. This one needs to go over here. So in other words, it needs to go not like the last one. Last one we went up and to the left. This time we need to go up and to the right. So this is going to be a very similar algorithm. Basically everything that you did to the left face, you're going to do to the right face, but prime. In other words, counterclockwise instead of clockwise, clockwise instead of counterclockwise. And anything that you did to the down or front faces, you're just going to do the opposite. So if you did clockwise, you're going to do counterclockwise, and vice versa. So to move this piece over here, up and to the right, what you're going to do is inverse down, inverse right, down, right, down, front, inverse down, inverse front. And what you've just done is you've moved that piece from here over here, up and to the right. And now you'll see that this is solved. And you've solved the first two pieces of your middle layer. So let's go to another piece. Here's another one. This one happens to be green and red, so it needs to go in between the red and green faces. It needs to go in this position. So if it needs to go into this position, then it needs to go up and to the left. So again, we're going to do that same algorithm we did last time to move a piece up and to the left. And if you recall, the algorithm to move this piece up and to the left is down, left, inverse down, inverse left, inverse down, inverse front, down, front. And voila, that solved that part. So we're left with one piece left. If you'll notice, this is solved, that's solved, that's solved. We have one piece left unsolved, that's right here. So we need to find that piece again on the bottom layer, and it's right here, the red and blue. So we're going to line this red up with its red centerpiece. So just like we did last time, we're going to line it up with its red centerpiece, and this time this needs to go up and to the right. Up and to the right. So to move this piece up and to the right, we're going to do that same algorithm that we did last time to move it up and to the right. So again, that is inverse down, inverse right, down, right, down, front, inverse down, inverse front. And voila, you have solved the first two layers of your Rubik's Cube. There is one special case where you that you could run into, and I'm going to show you that special case in my next video.